Part of the success team at BlueArrow Telematics is Bryan Kondub, and it's good to see you again, Bryan. And I want to know, since I haven't done this in-depth interview with you for a while, tell me about your upbringing, growing up, your hobbies, your interests as a youngster.
Well, it's good to see you again too, Chuck. Growing up as a young kid, I was born in the state of Connecticut, but moved here as a young man to North Carolina. And I've got several hobbies. I'm really involved in ice hockey. My mountain house is my pride and joy. I spend a lot of time there, working on my house, fly fishing, snowboarding, pretty much anything kind of outdoors is sort of the things that I'm into for hobbies. So.
All right, we talk about the success team and attending high school, and then tell me about the educational process after you left high school.
So right after high school, I didn't go to college right away like most people do. I decided that I was going to go in the military. I really just wanted to get away from home and get that experience and that education of living in a different state and a different culture, and also getting the opportunity to live abroad. So that's what I really wanted to do. It was always really important for me to serve my country. And then after that, that's when I went to college. I took classes while I was in, finished my degree when I got out, and then ultimately I got a second degree as well, and just finished that about a year ago, actually.
That's beautiful.
Today's date. So.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm always interested to see when you make that transition from the military back into civilian life, how you ended up landing here and becoming part of the BlueArrow team.
Well, as I mentioned, just a few seconds ago, I'm really involved in ice hockey, and somehow accidentally ended up on Stewart's team. BlueArrow, we sponsor a hockey team in the men's league locally here in Raleigh, and just maintained that relationship over the years, even when I stopped playing for BlueArrow, and ended up here, and I couldn't be more grateful. So.
All right, we talk about the success team, Bryan. What is that all about, and what's your primary role?
So my primary role at BlueArrow Telematics is to really craft solid partnerships with our customers, and what that looks like is implementing strategies that involve client support, but also loyalty to BlueArrow Telematics. And how I do that is to show them the data and how they can improve off of that. And I do that by a simple onboarding call, or staying in constant communication and scheduling reviews so that they can get a deeper understanding of how our solutions work.
Tell me about your typical day. Is there anything typical about it?
Well, a typical day, getting our new customers acquainted with our solutions, getting them trained up, and getting their administrative access set up. But with our current customers, like I mentioned before, communication is constant communication is such a vital part of our daily role. And so I spend most of my afternoons really deep into data analysis, providing them with compelling insights into their business that will ultimately turn into measurable cost savings for the fleet.
All right, tell me, Bryan, how, because BlueArrow Telematics to me has got the leading edge on a very evolving telematics industry. It's ever changing. So what are you doing to help keep BlueArrow ahead of the game in this wonderful industry?
Well, like you mentioned, it's an ever-evolving industry, and so education is also a vital part of what we have to do here every single day. And a lot of it is just going home and taking the initiative to learn yourself, but also staying on top of the release notes that our software partners are releasing. And then Stewart's also going to have me taking classes with the North American Fleet Association, which is a 2 to 3 year course that will be of really added benefit to my knowledge in this industry. So.
Okay, so tell me, if you had any suggestions for BlueArrow customers, what would you tell them to help them gain return on investment by dealing with BlueArrow?
Well, you mentioned that this is an ever-evolving industry, and so with current customers and even customers or businesses that aren't customers yet, I think it's hard for them sometimes to really see the financial benefit of telematics. And so what I would encourage them to do is to take a look at the cost of ignoring versus the actual return on investment. Many fleets think they're operating at a reasonable pace, but what they may not be realizing is important insights that they're ignoring, and just ignoring simple things like not monitoring fuel closely, not monitoring tire. It could be a lot of money that's just being thrown out the window.
Unbelievable.
So that's what I'd encourage them to do.
Common sense from Bryan Kondub, and he's part of the success team at BlueArrow Telematics. Give him a call.